Hey everybody, welcome to this channel. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back if you've been here before. I am happy to have you all here. So before I get into today's topic, I just wanted to say that this channel was created as an audio or video diary for me because I feel like there's so much going on in society today, especially on the news and social media, and I'm not very sure if people are just consuming media or they're actually taking the time to learn something from it, especially now that I feel like so many things are virtual, so many things are online, and people are not getting real life experiences anymore. It's basically a channel where I just make notes of things that I learned from myself, from others, and viral topics and trendy topics. And I just pretty much make a list of things that I learned and I share it with others. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and jump into this topic. Today, I would like to talk about Rhoda Osman, aka the Brick Lady. So, if you guys are not familiar with this story, let me try to summarize it. So Roda Osman is a 33-year-old who made a video where she was claiming that she got hit in the face by a black man with a brick because she didn't want to give him her number. In the video, she was saying that none of the men around her jumped in to defend her. And the whole video brought up a reaction out of a lot of people. And right after, posted another video where she was at the hospital and her face was very swollen, the injuries weren't going down. Before giving us any proof of what had happened to her, she instantly had somebody create a GoFundMe for her and shared it to the public. And I think she generated about $42,000 from that GoFundMe. So fast forward to today, she has been arrested for, I don't remember what the charges are word for word, but it has to do with the GoFundMe scam. So according to HPD, there was a surveillance camera. They saw her being the one who assaulted first, and the man she was talking about slapped her in the face, but he was more of a self-defense kind of slap, and he did that with a water bottle, not a brick. You have men who are pretty much saying that we, like women, or women who believe the right away, owe them an apology. Let's be honest, they're not going to get any apology because women actually get brutalized and assaulted every day, and one fake story isn't going to make us apologize for something that happens in real life. That's just how I feel about it. I think the story is not fully over yet. I think there's still some things that are going to come out of the story because, yes, I do not believe that she is innocent. I do believe that she embellished the truth. Again, according to the article, she really did get assaulted, but she did not get assaulted with a brick. And I do believe that, yeah, the GoFundMe was a scam. I personally did not donate to it, but I'm noticing that a lot of people who donated to it, especially black women, don't really want to believe that she was scamming. And I can understand how if you donated to somebody, you might not want to admit that you got played or you got scammed. I can understand that. But the GoFundMe said that it was for medical expenses. Anyways, the whole story is just kind of tricky. I think there's just much more to it. And then the man as well, the man that, slapped her on the face with a water bottle, also came out and he spoke to the news. And he actually had an interview with Tanya TKO, which I really would advise everybody to go watch that interview because that interview is the reason why I believe that there's much more to the story, because that man did not convince me that he was innocent at all. What I saw from that interview, to me, he too was manipulating and he was scamming. Again, that's just my personal opinion. Like, that's my personal opinion. That is not fact. But from what I saw, like the way he presents himself online, he just seems like somebody who's calm, but somebody who also knows how to manipulate the crowd. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying that it's fact. Right now, based on the evidence that's out there, he's completely innocent. Well, he's not completely innocent because he did hit her with a water bottle, but she hit him first. I took some notes about what I've learned from this story, and this is what I got. I would say number one, please do some research before believing anyone or anything. We shouldn't be blindly following somebody based on emotions. And I think this is why it's so hard for people to admit that she might have been scamming folks. A lot of people just blindly followed her. A lot of people just blindly accepted what she was selling. And people didn't really care to investigate further. And anybody who dared to question her was attacked. I think a lot of black women followed her based on emotions because we know that in the black community, we definitely go through hell at the arms of the men within the community. A lot of emotions were involved in this, and a lot of black women fell for the okie doke. And I think, in addition to the fact that she was scamming, based on some of the videos of her that I've seen and the way she has moved online before, she doesn't seem like somebody who even loves black women or care about black women. It wasn't just a GoFundMe scam. I think she really did insulted black women's intelligence, black American women's intelligence specifically. So I would say I really hope people are learning from this that you cannot let the way you connect with somebody emotionally blind you from looking further into their businesses, into what they're saying, into who they are. Do not follow people blindly. Do not just donate things to people blindly. Do not lead into anything with your emotions. Do research, try to find the truth, go by the facts, and make sure that if you're going to donate to somebody, follow somebody, invest in somebody, make sure that you've done the proper research and you know exactly what you are contributing to. People who said she was lying from the jump and people who believed her from the jump, it was all based on emotions. And anybody who was in the middle was either a black man hater or a black woman hater. At the end of the day, if a woman really got attacked, as another woman yourself, you would want to know the truth, right? So it's very important to do the proper research and get to all the evidence and get to the truth before we can openly support anybody. The next would be everything in the dark comes to light. Like the truth always comes out. When she came out, she was very well believed. A lot of us, including me, had just like abandoned the story. Like we weren't even thinking about it anymore. To be honest, I feel like one of the reasons why she ended up getting caught is because she was online always running her mouth. When you are that loud about something, people are going to look into you. But I feel like even when it comes to people who think they're committing the perfect crime, the truth always comes out. So we really need to be careful how we're navigating society. We really need to be careful of the moves that we make, of the lies that we tell. We really need to be careful when it comes to manipulating others and the secrets that we keep. Because it seems like everything just kind of comes to light, especially being in the age of Aquarius. And I've heard some people talk about the age of Aquarius. It seems like everybody's been exposed. So people really need to be careful what they think they're getting away with. Honesty is always the best thing. And if you don't want something to ever come out to light, how about you just don't do it? If something is too outrageous or too dark or too bad for you to be public with it, I don't think you should secretly do it either. Next, I would say we never know how far a lie would go. So when we lie, we have to create another lie to cover up the previous lie. We have to create another lie to cover up the original lie. And it's just a cycle, and we just have to keep creating bigger lies to basically keep our narrative and our story going. Eventually it gets tired, and at some point we might run out of lies to tell. You lie about one thing, you're gonna have to find a way to cover it up, and you're gonna have to come out with bigger lies. And if you are too prideful or if you're just too ashamed of the truth, things are gonna get bigger and bigger, and things are going to get messier and messier. And it seemed like it's always better to just live in your truth, stay in your truth, and just be honest, because sometimes a lie can go too far. And again, I don't even know if she ever, within this whole thing, I don't even know if she ever thought about coming out with what actually happened. That it wasn't a brick, it was a water bottle. I don't know. She really did keep that story going. I feel like even if she felt guilty, or even if she didn't want to go through with the lie anymore, at this point it was already too late, and she was already too deep into the lie. So honesty is always better. And if you ever lie, I think it's better to just come out with the truth as quick as possible before it goes too out of hand. The next thing that I learned from this whole situation is to never get too greedy. When things started coming out that she was scamming, because I think the GoFundMe stayed up for a while, and when things, like when people started saying that she was a scammer, she could have just shut down the whole thing and then just go by her day, stay out of the public eye and not say anything. But I think she still came out and was still asking for money and things like that. And also, based on the research that other YouTubers have done, it appears that she has done this before. Like years ago, she started a GoFundMe, requesting money because of some attack that she endured or like went through. And I think she made almost $5,000 from that GoFundMe. It appeared that that GoFundMe was also a scam. Allegedly, to be honest, I don't have any evidence of that. If she really, if those $5,000 that she got previously was a scam, she finessed a whole group of people. Okay, you finessed 5,000 from everybody. Let it go. Just let it go. But she decided to try and finesse more money from people. And I'm not condoning scamming in any way. I'm not saying that because she got away with the first alleged scam, it was a good thing and she should have just been proud. And like, nobody should be scamming anybody. But the greediness and the desire for money led her to do it again. Never get too greedy to the point where you just kind of lose control of your morals and even your actions just because you're chasing a bag. I think she was definitely greedy. I think it was a little bit of greediness that got her to try to scam money out of people the way she did. So I think that's something that I pretty much learned from this whole thing is never get too greedy. It's not worth it. Another thing that I'd learned from this, beware of a perpetual victim. This is not the first time that she has had alleged issues with men or just people in general. She is always in situations where she's a victim of something. People like her are very dangerous. So I think we need to be very careful of people who are always victims. Somebody who was always a victim of something. When do you learn how not to put yourself in certain situations? When do you learn how not to say certain words? Or when do you learn how to walk away from a situation? Like, when do you become mature enough? I'm not trying to victim blame anybody who might have went through domestic violence or like this kind of assault, because it does happen in real life. But if you as a person cannot learn how to stay away from trouble, I think there's more to it than just you being an actual victim. There might be mental health issues. There might be like Stockholm syndrome, where you continuously go back to abusive situations because that's all you recognize, or something like that. So I would say to everybody, especially to people who donated to her GoFundMe, we have to be very cautious of perpetual victims, people who are always on the receiving end of bad things, people who always go through bad things in life. We have to be very careful of that, because sometimes some people think they're the victim, but if you really look at the entire history and interactions and stories, they are the main denominator in every single negative experience that they've had. And they have contributed to that. So some people are perpetual victims because they don't want to take accountability. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's what that means for domestic violence victims, because again, I think it goes cases by cases. This is why I think people need to take a moment to get to know everybody that is a victim before just jumping to any conclusions. This is something that I will consider in the future when I'm just interacting with anybody. Be very careful, beware of somebody who is always a victim of something. And then next, I would say I learned from this whole situation that people do not like to be wrong. Even with the article that HTPD came out with saying that they have evidence that she was lying about the attack, there's still some people who, I mean, I think it's okay if you absolutely want to see the video, but there's some people who are still saying that no, she got hit in the face with a brick, and they don't want to they don't want to let go of that narrative. It's insane. It's like people really don't want to be wrong, and you just have to leave those people where they are. But this is insane to me because we kind of need to move on from this whole thing, but some people will just stay in the mind frame that she was hit with a brick, and that's the story. That's the truth. If we want to evolve as people, we have to get to a point where we can admit to ourselves that we were wrong about something, and admit to others and admit to the world that we were wrong about something. Right now, I just feel like a lot of people were wrong about her and they don't want to admit it. It's okay to admit that we were wrong about her, but we still believe victims. I don't see anything wrong with that, but there's some people who literally don't want to admit that they were scammed or they were duped. And yeah, it's just strange. Like people really don't like to admit that they're wrong, and that's wild. But I think it's really good for our spirit to be able to admit that we're wrong when we're wrong, so we can just learn from it and move on. I don't think anybody should be shaming anybody for being wrong either, because maybe that's what the whole resistance is coming from. People are afraid to be shamed, and that is not fair. It's okay to be wrong, but right now a lot of people are still standing by her like her story was the truth and nothing but the truth, and it's very strange. Yeah, so next, and this is specifically for the Black community, the way this whole brick gate situation and the story with Carly Russell was handled really has me question why in the Black community we really have a tendency of focusing on things that doesn't benefit us, but things that we need to change we don't really address. Because right now there are multiple stories out there of Black women getting hurt every day. We do not take it seriously. We had a story of the Black woman who had her eyes bit off in New York because she refused to give her number to a guy at the liquor store, and he waited for her outside and then bit her eye off. So we actually have stories out there with evidence. We usually don't pay attention to stories where the evidence is there, but for some reason we are so stuck on stories that are manipulative with no evidence. And I really don't know what that is about. I feel like only the Black community does it, to be honest with you. We had the Carly Russell situation. We didn't know what the truth was until it also came out that she wasn't telling the truth. And we were just stuck on that story. So we as Black people made that story go viral. We make these fake stories go viral, and it doesn't benefit us. Yet there are so many real stories out there of women who actually get attacked, and we don't make those stories go viral. And I don't know how to describe this, but I really feel like this is something that we need to think about more and look more into. I don't know why in the Black community we do that. We continuously front page things that don't benefit us, or things that are not gonna make us evolve, or things that are not gonna make us progress. There are things out there that we have plenty of evidence of. We don't take seriously. We don't even debate on them too much. We just kind of ignore it. But then things like this, that from the jump there was no real evidence, and now the story is coming out that she might have been scamming folks. We are just putting all our energies into stories that are lies, that are not benefiting us. I know this channel on YouTube from, I think it's Black Girl News by Leah Gordon. She talks about these cases of women getting hurt. And every single day she has I mean, not every single day, but she has a lot of videos on her channel about Black women getting hurt in real life and in real time. The Black community likes to focus on things that really don't benefit us in any way, and things that we should be focusing on and things that we should be making viral. We are not even paying attention to them. So, yeah, I really want you all to think about that. And this right here is gonna conclude my list of things that I learned from this entire situation. I hope there was something that resonated with you all. Please like, please comment, please share the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I will catch you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.